Alright guys, are you ready to see some crazy draw power Exodia inside of a elemental hero Nebula Neo? So it's basically Neos Exodia. I kind of fast forwarded this part. I'm going to play out the full thing in its entirety and showcase like kind of how it works. It's really not like game breakingly like strong until you get the combo setup, which is basically you Black Garden, you give your opponent a bunch of tokens, and every time you summon your Nebula Neos, in this instance, guys, he's going to be able to draw a bunch of cards. Now, again, I don't want to say that this is like OP. It is OP when you can pull it off, and your opponent will be probably pretty salty. But every single time we're summoning the Nebula Neos, guys, we're going to be able to draw a bunch of cards, because this card has the effect that every time you summon it, you get to draw cards equal to the number of cards your opponent controls. And then you also get to negate one card's effect on the field. So in this instance, he's got 3 spells and traps, so that's 3, plus all of these here, so that's 8 cards. Every single time that he summons it, he's going to basically desummon it and then resummon it over and over again. That's basically how it works. Now that you guys can kind of see an idea of it in action right here, I want to show you guys like a full gameplay of the deck here. But I wouldn't worry too much about this like being broken. It's just more that it's really unique and cool that someone actually decided to play Exodia in a Neos deck. I mean, you wouldn't think of it. But going further into this, by the way, shout out to my boy Magus here for saying this. And I think that you could probably make it a little bit faster, perhaps with like a Dustin. Dustin has like a card effect where you're able to special summon as many Dustins as possible to both players' side of the field. That way you can just guarantee them to have 5 monsters, and then minimum amount of cards you'd be able to draw would be 5 cards. And then on top of that, you're just going to be basically contacting out Neos over and over again. That's how you draw a bunch of cards. Now, in this instance, you just drew a bunch of Exodia parts. Like any Exodia deck, you don't actually want to draw the parts in the very beginning because you need to have your draw power and stuff like that. So I think that perhaps maybe a card like Magical Mallet, I know, I've been talking about that card forever, but this is really cool. I really like this deck as far as its uniqueness, because when I saw the name of it, it's like Neos Exodia. What the heck is this? I mean, like I said, if you can pull off the combo pretty early on, it's pretty OP, but it would require either you open up with Black Garden and then you go into a bunch of Link monsters, and then therefore your opponent would have a full board. You can go into a Dustin. Anything that would just give a bunch of cards to your opponent is kind of key over here. You could even run like a Kaiju, because that's still a card that they control, and then you'd be able to maybe get rid of something that would perhaps stop your combo. But what's good with Neos is if anything would negate Neos, you just negate whatever card would negate Neos, because he has that effect where he can negate a card when he comes out. And on top of that, you're going to be able to draw a bunch of cards. But here we're going to see the Prisma summon. This is just to start dumping some of the cards in the graveyard. Now we're going to go ahead and make one of the Neoses, and then Black Garden is going to activate its effect. So he's going to draw a few cards, activate Terraforming, go into the Void, Emergency E-Call. We're basically going all in right here. We're going to contact out, get back all of the materials, then Black Garden's going to activate its effect. We're going to go right back into Neos, and every time we summon it, guys, we're going to draw 5 cards. And then through that, we're just going to contact out, go right back out into the materials, then go right back into the Neos here. And that is going to, once again, allow us to draw 5 cards. Drawing 5 cards is pretty big in Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I shouldn't need to explain that. But it basically, you're just contacting out. There's a few different cards you can actually use contact out. And since you don't actually need anything, because it's a contact fusion here, you just shuffle the cards you control. You do not use poly with that, but you guys are seeing, you're able to go ahead and just make it game. There's probably a lot of other combos that you guys could think of to mix in with the Nebula Neos in the Exodia variant, like you guys just saw over here. The other duel, I guess I can just play it out, might as well. I just want to show you guys that it's not what I would consider super fast or like super consistent like turn 1. I mean, this guy's, he already played Pot of Greed, dude. So even though this guy, he's played with some banned cards, we're going to show you guys the power of Exodia. But pretty much, I would say it is, again, something that you guys should not worry about. Don't worry about this new FTK. You could technically FTK, definitely can OTK. I mean, it's an Exodia deck. That's kind of the point of it. You could also still attack with it. It's not like it's the only win condition of the deck, but I would say it's the most viable win condition of the deck. And I'll also give you guys the deck profile in case any of you guys, you know, Neos fans or just wanted this really unique deck, because that's one thing that I think is pretty cool. Yeah, just mixing up certain things. But I'm really wondering, like, you know how you guys can, you know, obviously Lava Golem, any of the Kaijus, as well as, I guess, the Black Guard. And this is a pretty easy card just to give your opponent a bunch of cards. And I was thinking, since you can just, you know, utilize some of the tokens, perhaps to go into other monsters, right? You can obviously go into Link monsters, and therefore you can maybe draw some cards, Saryuja. Some other cards might be a better option here. Also, I think Magical Mallet would help out the deck a lot in case you draw too many Exodia parts. And there's a lot of the Neos cards that you don't really need anyways. You don't really want to draw them. It's basically like a -1 because you want to use Prisma's Effect or something like that just to get rid of the cards. You could also technically run Lightsworn. It'd be a really random build, but basically just to dump the cards in the graveyard, then contact for them, or you can bring them back even. There's a lot of cards to actually support Neos as well just to get that card out. But here we're going to see Miracle Contact once again. And that's going to allow us to go straight into our boy. And then we're just going to draw a bunch of cards over here, as you guys are seeing with Black Guard. It just gives you that extra ability to draw a bunch of cards. And I think it's just pretty unique. And this is basically the part where I started the video off because it just looked really cool. I thought that was a really good way to give you guys an intro to the video. But yeah, there's a Contact out, and then there's also the Miracle Contact. And you don't even need anything anyways to summon this card, so... yeah, there you guys go. The Exodia Neos deck. Now, in case any of you guys wanted the deck profile for it, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you guys. But anyway, shoutouts again to Magus Lucius for the gameplay here. A really unique deck. I want to say he's the first guy that's built this. I've never seen anyone even think of, you know, running this. There might be some other cards that you can run for draw power. In fact, what I was thinking is you can mix this in with, like, Treasure Panda Exodia, and you could probably get a bunch of, because this is obviously lets you get a bunch of spells right into the graveyard really fast, although you'd have to summon, of course, the Treasure Panda. And like with this deck, you have access to Hero List, which will give you the Prisma before even going for your plays. And then what you can do with the Exodia parts is go into Saryuja, go ahead and utilize that, and then at that point you'd be playing Black Up Soldier as well. I don't know, there's a lot of potential for this. Like I said, I don't know if Black Garden is necessarily the 100% the best way, because like I said, with Dustin's, I think it might just be easier just to give your opponent those cards, and then you can just go straight and do it. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below how you would build this deck, because I think there is a little bit of potential here with making it a little bit more dirty. But anyways, Neos Exodia, guys. Let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. In fact, you know, I was also thinking that King of the Swamp might be an option as well. But anyways, 3 copies of Elemental Hero Neos. Of course, the 4 Exodia, well, I guess it's 5 Exodia parts, put them next to each other. So we got the 3 Neos, all the Exodia parts, all 5 of them. And then, of course, we got 3 copies of Prisma, which is going to start helping you send these cards to the graveyard for your fusion. But we got that. We got 3 cards of Prisma. Neo-spacian Dark Panther actually has an effect where you can actually copy your opponent's monster's effect. So that's kind of cool. And it gains its original name, too. We got 3 copies of Neo-spacian Grammel, which actually was kind of nice against that Toon player, because he was able to bounce back certain things, so he couldn't really deal as much damage. Then we got 3 copies of E-Call for, of course, your Prisma. 3 copies of Hero List for more Prisma. Reinforcement for even more Prisma. Yeah, I think that's the only card you can search out with this, because this card's too high of a level. And then we have 3 copies of Miracle Contact, 1 Upstart Goblin. I'm not really sure if that's necessarily needed, because you are playing a 40, over a 40 card deck, but nonetheless, maybe there is some reason why you would do this, but I just don't think that there is necessarily a reason to put this in. You could just drop this and it would be pretty much the same. Then we have Miracle Contact, which is going to go ahead and shuffle from the hand, field, or graveyard, which is usually going to be the graveyard. You're able to just summon your neo-spacian, or Elemental Hero Nebula Neos is what you're going to be summoning with it. And then we have 3 copies of Terraform for, of course, your Black Garden, because that's the 1 condition. Then we have 3 copies of Convert Contact. So if you control no monsters, you send 2 Neo-spacian monsters, 1 from your hand and 1 from your deck. So basically, you're able to dump 2 of the Neo-spacians. And then, obviously, with the Prisma, you can send the other one. That's going to give you all the 3 targets for Miracle Contact. And then we have 3 copies of Into the Void, 3 copies of Contact out. So that's a quick play. Let's kind of bounce back that Neo's fusion monster. And then if all the fusion materials listed on that monster are in your deck, you can just straight special summon them all. So the whole downside of having them going back in the deck is not bad at all. So you can go ahead and just resummon all the monsters, and then you'll be good to go. And each time you're doing that, you're more likely going to fill up your opponent's board with the tokens, with, of course, Black Garden, and then you ran 1 Upstart. Like I said, I'm not sure if I would consider Upstart a necessary card. For the extra deck, we've got 3 copies of Nebula Neos, 1 Dark Neos, 1 Grand Neos, Warlord, Saryuja Decode, Bellcat, Troymare Phoenix, Soul, Cerberus, Landful Linkus, got Security Dragon, and Link Spider. I guess he side decked that one L2 Divine Neos, but yeah, that's really cool. Thank you once again to Magus for this amazing idea. I think I might try this out, but I'm going to try it out in a different way. I want to see if I can do it with like Dustin's. But is there any way to give our opponent like more spell and trap as like a back row? Is there a way to like give them like a way to just fill up their back row with something? Let me know in the comment section below. But man, against a pendulum deck, especially if they have you know, double pendulums, zones covered, plus like the field spell, that's going to be easily like 8 cards every single time, just like against the Toon player. Absolutely devastated him and destroyed him. But anyways, that is the Nebula Neos Exodia deck. Really cool stuff indeed. But let me know if you would change anything down below in the comment section below and what you thought of the deck. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that deck. That was definitely unique. If you guys got any unique decks, I love showing them in the community. Send a replay into azneyesreplays@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to always see crazy unique decks like the Nebula Neos Exodia deck. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going. Signing out.